Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick and today we have a banger of a video for you guys, one that we have been prepping for quite some time now. As you can see by the title and the way that we are set up here, we are doing another TV tournament. This one on dramas, one of our all-time favorite genres in the world of TV, but something that we really haven't talked about all that much on this channel, which would be pretty exciting here. A few things to note about this tournament. As you can see, we do have a special guest this time around. This is my lovely girlfriend, Stephanie, making her on-screen appearance for the first time on this channel. And of course, returning co-creators of the TV tournament series, my boy Mike and our brother Matt here. Very, very exciting to have you guys with us. If you've seen tournaments in the past, this should look pretty similar. We have a board here of 50 TV shows, all in the drama category, split up in groups of 3 with 2 wild cards that we will reveal later on in the tournament. It's going to act very similar to our sitcom tournament if you've seen it, but with a couple twists, mostly in the form that Steph here gives us a 4th person to work with, which is very exciting. So what that means is, for the initial qualifying rounds, for the groups of 3, the tiebreakers will work just the same. Second vote and a coin flip if necessary. That being said, the head-to-head matches, we're going to do a little bit differently. If we come across a 2-2 tie in any of these tournament rounds here, we're going to keep track of the amount of votes that each of the winners gets and use that to break the tie. So if 2 shows go head-to-head, they each receive 2 votes. If one show came in with, say, 5 votes and the other came in with 6, the show with 6 votes will be advancing. Pretty simple. If they have the same number of votes going into it, a coin flip will determine it. With that said, post in the comments what you think the winner of this tournament is going to be. Very exciting here. And to give... we have the phone. That's for the blooper reel. And to give even more credence to it, these guys are all repping some TV shirts there. We see Breaking Bad. We got his cartoon one with my lovely girlfriend here, Criminal Minds, one of her favorites, and I'm repping Juice WRLD because I totally forgot the memo. I totally fucked up.
No, you knew the memo. You just wanted to throw it
I knew the memo,
up.
yeah, but, you know, always be plugging. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD, of course. That being said, is there any... Oh, fuck. This is going to be pure chaos. We're going to have fun with it, though. We're going to have fun with it. Don't worry. All right. With that said...
I think your phone's having more fun than you.
My phone does not want to be part of this. It knows that I screwed up with the shirts.
Breaking the screen.
No. With that said... Oh, you also have the Riverdale... All right. You know, I'm just going to hold this for now.
I got the Riverdale circle.
Yeah, we got the Riverdale earrings there. So a couple shows repped for Steph, making up for mine. With that said, anything else you guys want to add before we start this?
Let's get going.
No,
let's get going here.
So we got
not much.
50 great shows here. All of these have big fan bases, big in pop culture. All of these shows are somewhat good. It's not like we have like some.
We don't have like really obscure shit from the 70s that
all
lasted
these
2
shows
episodes. You know,
could be someone's favorite. They are all worthy contenders of winning the entire thing.
Yes, they are. And real quick before we start, give a big shout out to Mike for putting together the board here and putting together the matchups. He's the only one that knows where any of these shows are. He did the RNG and everything. So for the first time, me, Steph, and Matt have no clue where these are. Genuine reactions here for today's tournament, which I'm super excited. I was super hyped. I could not sleep last night. I was so excited. I stayed up till like 4 in the morning. So with that said, I think it is time that we start this tournament, guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we are going to start off with round number 1 here. Also, one thing that's interesting about this is that all the first half of the rounds are on this side, so we're just going to go straight down, keep revealing them. So I will reveal the first half, and then we'll trade it off to Mike here. So for round number 1, are you guys ready to see what the shows are? All right, let's do it. Ooh, all right. All right, good.
We got Mad Men, House, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We do indeed. All right, so for this, I'm going to pass it to Steph here. I think she has a good knowledge of these shows, and I want her to speak first because she's the guy.
I know 2 of the 3. I know House and I know Buffy. But I think I might go with House a little bit more on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so House gets the first vote. For me, we'll just go in clockwise for each round. For me, so one thing that was really exciting about this tournament was I had the opportunity to watch a lot of shows that I had not seen before to prep for this, that I watched an episode for. Either shows that I knew were huge that I wanted to do my homework on and have some knowledge on, or ones that I was interested in. And Mad Men fit both of those categories, and I'm proud to say, was my favorite of all the shows that I watched in advance. So that is going to be my vote here. No disrespect to House by any means. I love Hugh Laurie. He's one of the all-time great actors. But I've never watched it for myself. And Buffy, I know as well a lot of high-profile actors on that. Allison Hannigan from Him Yim on that show. Very large fan base as well. But for me, Mad Men is going to be my pick here.
All right. So for me as well, I'm going to go with Mad Men as well. I haven't seen much of House and Buffy. Buffy is definitely a show that I really want to check out though sometime. But Mad Men, along with Nick, I also watched the pilot and thoroughly enjoyed it. Another show that's on here later has an actress who was in Mad Men. So that was very cool to see. And Don Draper in Mad Men, he seems like a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Show takes place in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. And yeah, it's a great show. I definitely think you should check it out, and I'm definitely going to be watching more of it soon here. So.
All right, so for me, I did not see Mad Men, so unfortunately we are going to have a tie.
Oh, for the first round. Exciting.
I have seen it before. I didn't really like it when I first saw it, but I did watch the pilot for this. Just like Nick said, I watched a couple pilots, and that was one I thought it was pretty good. Hugh Laurie was a love-hate character, but pretty strong pilot, so I will definitely go with House.
All right, so for the very first round here, we have a 2-2 tie, which means we're going to do a second vote, beginning with Steph once again. So you said House initially. Mad Men or Buffy for your second vote? Buffy. Figured that was going to happen. For me, I think I'm going to go House here as my second vote. I think these guys have convinced me with their commentary that that's a show that deserves some recognition here.
For me, I'm going to go Buffy. Definitely, it's definitely a show I'm more interested in seeing. Like I said, I actually really like the cast of Buffy. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go Buffy.
All right.
All right, so for me, I'm trying to determine which one I can pick without it tying.
You can at this point.
I guess I'll pick Mad Men.
All right.
Okay.
We're
So
gonna
we're going to have a coin flip between Mad Men and House.
We are. So with this specialized equipment that we call a quarter, we're going to have a coin flip here. All right, so since Steph led the round, anytime we do that, we'll just pick the person that led it. So you said House initially.
Yeah.
Do you want that to be heads or tails?
Heads.
All right. You guys can see in the middle here. Ooh, it is heads.
Yeah.
You guys can see heads it is. So House is going to be the first show that takes the win here.
You must be Dr. House.
And you must be full of baloney. A lot of it.
Right, that joke. Always fun. Only people you can still make fun of.
And Christians. Oh, and black people.
All right, moving on to round number 2 here. This show will compete against House. Let's see what the options are. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. All right, here's our big one here. Already, I did not expect it so soon. Mike, you are a sly dog here.
Yeah.
All right, so for round 2, the 3 shows are Breaking Bad, ER, and Stumptown. This will be an interesting one. I think I'm going to let Matt go first.
Yeah, all right. Me, I don't know anything about Stumptown or ER, but I love Breaking Bad. I binge watched the whole series. Absolutely loved it. If you guys have seen my channel, I've posted some videos about it. Did some tributes to the finale, which was really good. And, it all just builds up to that last season, which is just amazing. So definitely going to pick Breaking Bad.
All right, Matt says Breaking Bad. Steph, you're up next. Breaking Bad, ER, Stumptown.
Definitely ER.
Okay.
I know basically everything about that.
Yeah, watched it through.
Yeah.
One of the older shows
from
here.
beginning to end, basically.
All right, for me, I also watched Breaking Bad as a pilot for this tournament here. It was one of the 5 that I watched, and it ranked as number 3 overall. So, like I said, Mad Men was my favorite. But instead of picking it, I'm actually going to go with Stumptown, giving Mike a pretty tough choice here between these 3. Stumptown, this is the one that I've seen the most of, and I think even though I didn't finish it, it's definitely a show that I want to come back to. Love the action, love the cast on this show. Cannot state that enough. The cast is phenomenal. And even though I do think Breaking Bad has a really good chance of winning this, I do want to rep Stumptown because I think it's very underrated here.
All right, so for me, this is actually an easy one, but tough because I really did like Stumptown. I really think it should have gotten renewed for a second season. It was renewed, but it got canceled because of COVID. But for me, I got to go Breaking Bad with this one. I mean, what more can you say about Breaking Bad? It's the highest rated show on IMDb. It's one of the only shows with a 10 out of 10 on one of their episodes, and it is one of the most critically acclaimed shows of all time. Characters are amazing. The storylines are amazing. It's a great show. So for me, I'm going to pick Breaking Bad.
All right, and with 2 votes, Breaking Bad advances here.
Who are you talking to right now? Who is it you think you see? Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. Disappears.
All right, we are moving on to round number 3 here. So far, a very competitive competition. But let's see what shows are up next. Ooh, okay. All right, we got some interesting ones here. Another one that I think Steph is going to have a hard time with here. But I think I'm going to let Mike start this one. Okay. This one we have Revenge, Criminal Minds, and The Wire. All high profile. Go ahead, Mike.
For me, this one, I haven't really seen much of Criminal Minds or Revenge, but Criminal Minds is actually a show I really do want to check out. I think it's really good quality. But for me, this one's got to go with The Wire. I'm actually currently watching The Wire. Me and my friend have been watching it. I've been going to his house and we're watching The Wire, and it has been absolutely amazing. I definitely think season 2 was definitely a little bit lower, but season 1 and 3, I'm currently in the middle of season 3. It's so good. The actors on the show are so good. The dialogue is amazing, and it deserves to be praised as one of the top shows of all time. So for me, I'm picking The Wire.
Yeah, for me, I'll also go with The Wire. I have not ever watched it, but I've heard it's just amazing. You know, HBO, one of the most classic shows on their channel, and I have seen a few of their shows in preparation, and I feel like I will enjoy The Wire if I ever do watch it, so definitely going to pick that one.
Okay, babe, what do you like of these 3?
Okay, I do not know The Wire at all whatsoever. Even though I am a hardcore fan of Criminal Minds because I'm wearing a shirt, I was pretty much #1 fan of that show, but I don't know, as some of the later seasons went on towards the end, I don't know, I just kind of fell a little bit out of it. But even though Revenge had the least amount of seasons probably out of all those shows up there, I was really more digging Revenge at that moment, so I'm gonna go with that.
Interesting. All right, so for me, I haven't seen any of these, so this is a tough one because I really don't know how to gauge it because I haven't seen them, like I said, but I think I would actually say Criminal Minds here. And I think my reasoning is because it was so popular for its time and it was the longest running of all these. It really left an imprint on the channel and the genre that it was in, that sort of, police procedural type genre that we'll talk about a lot. The Wire as well, very, very influential show, but I think just because of, how long it was on air for and its popularity, Criminal Minds would be my vote. But with that said, The Wire does take this one again with 2 votes here, and it'll beat out Revenge and Criminal Minds.
I gotta ask you, if every time Snot Boogie would grab the money and run away, why'd you even let him in the game?
What?
If Snot Boogie always stole the money, why'd you let him play?
Got to. This America, man.
All right, round number 4 we are on to. This one will compete against The Wire. That was a competitive show last round. And these 3 shows are... all right. Oh, yeah. I like this a lot.
Oh, man.
I like this. All right, I'm going to start with this one. This time we have 21 Jump Street, Big Sky, and Ghost Whisperer. So for me, I've not seen 21 Jump Street. I have seen the movies of 21 Jump Street. Love those, but not the show. I do want to point out, though, that it is one of the earliest and probably... Is it the oldest show that we have?
Yeah.
One of the, we have
the
the Twilight Zone too, actually. So that's officially, but 21 Jump Street's up there as one of the oldest ones. So that alone gives it a lot of weight here because, even 40 years later, we're still talking about it in competitive scenes like this. Ghost Whisperer, I know that Steph is a big fan of it. I can respect it. I do like Ghost Whisperer from time to time. I've seen a few episodes, but for me, I gotta go Big Sky on this one. If you have not seen the show, I urge you guys to watch it immediately. If you watch the pilot episode, you guys, the three of you know, I've seen way too many pilots for my own good and way too many genres. I dare say, this is the best pilot that I've seen in terms of hooking you in. The last 2 minutes of this episode, I'm not going to give anything away, has one of the best plot points that I've ever seen executed in TV.
Wow,
and I know that I'm giving this a lot of credit here, but I urge you. I think anyone that's into good mystery shows, into good action shows, will love this. And it's currently one of the shows that me and Steph are watching, so it's also kind of like fresh in my mind as well because we're actively watching it. So with all that said, Big Sky here.
So for me, this is actually pretty easy for me because the only one of these shows that I've actually seen is Ghost Whisperer. Ghost Whisperer was actually one I actually enjoyed as a kid because I just remember like my aunt and like my friends' moms always have this show on and I'd watch it and I always knew about like the twists and stuff and I always thought it was good. I like Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's definitely good in the show and for me, Ghost Whisperer gets my vote.
All right, so for me, with Nick talking about Big Sky, I think I should watch it now, but I don't really know much about Ghost Whisperer, but I do know 21 Jump Street. I am the only one here that has seen it. I watched the pilot, not in preparation for this, just randomly a few months ago. I just wanted to watch it because I found out it's on like all the free streaming sites, and I thought, well, okay, that's really stupid, because then I watched it and I realized it's so good, and I'm like, why is it being neglected? Why is it on like all the free streaming sites? It's on YouTube for free, it's on Amazon Prime for free, so I watched it. And I watched the pilot. It's so good, so I definitely am going to pick 21 Jump Street.
All right, babe. So you are in the position here. You have the final say.
She has the final vote.
Oh, man.
So which one is it going to be, Steph?
This one's really hard. I feel like a lot of pressure on me right now, but I only know Big Sky and I only know Ghost Whisperer. And I have the entire series of Ghost Whisperer, and I've always loved Jennifer Love Hewitt. But, I mean, right now, I think Big Sky is fresh in my mind, as Nick said. It is really good, and I think I'll go with that one.
Interesting. So Big Sky. All right, so that one will be advancing here with 2 votes.
Hello? Hello? Danny. Danny. Grace. Oh. Where are we?
Round number 5 here, guys. We have made it through 1/4 of the tournament, the qualifiers, I should say, right now. We are on to round 5. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right, this is interesting here.
What?
For round 5, Sons of Anarchy, The Walking Dead, and The X-Files. Whoever wants to take the lead on this, I don't really know
I'll
these,
take
so
the lead.
go ahead, Mike.
Sons of Anarchy is one of my favorite shows of all time, man. Oh, I love that show so much. My friend was a huge fan of the show. He's always told me it's like his favorite show of all time. For years, he was trying to get me to watch it. I watched it, and it was incredible. Jax Teller is one of my favorite TV show characters ever from that series. I actually watched it in 2020, so that was one of the binge-worthy shows that I watched through. Yeah, it is incredible. One of the best dramas for me. I really like it a lot.
So for me, I have been tagging along with Michael on most of the shows he's been picking, I've been picking, so I will also say Sons of Anarchy. I was gonna watch The Walking Dead's pilot, but I did see Game of Thrones spoiler and I hated it, and I thought, okay, no, I'm not watching Walking Dead either, so I just avoided that. X-Files sounds okay, but I don't know, just Sons of Anarchy for me.
All right, Steph seems disappointed with your last comment there. So what do you have in response to that?
Yeah, I do not really know anything about Sons of Anarchy, and a little bit of Walking Dead, only for the sake of my sister on that one, because she was really obsessed with it. So I have seen maybe 3 or 4 episodes of that, but I'm going with my childhood favorite, and that is definitely X-Files. I absolutely love David Duchovny, and I have for quite some time, and that show was like me and my mom's favorite, and I don't know, that's just always my number one there for this one.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know much about these. These were actually 3 shows that I was kind of hoping would be split across different rounds because they were all really high profile, dramas that are really popular, really dedicated fan bases that I have no clue about. But I will say, on account that the X-Files came back because fans really wanted it to, and it has some really high profile movies made about it as well. I think I'm going to go with the X-Files here. I think it's just the biggest franchise of these 3. And I think on account of that, I think it deserves the win.
It's kind of like drama and sci-fi mixed together because it's got some alien type stuff going on.
Right.
So
we have, for the second time today, a tiebreaker. Mike, why don't you lead off?
So for me, my second favorite of these is going to be The Walking Dead. Another one that the same friend is really into The Walking Dead. He's watched all the way through that as well. It's definitely one that it's never really captured my eye that much, but there is definitely some characters on it that intrigue me, like Rick Grimes, Daryl Dixon. I know Negan's huge in it now. But yeah, so of those, I don't really know much about the X-Files, so I'm gonna go Walking Dead as my second choice.
For me, I am just gonna avoid Walking Dead. I'm gonna pick X-Files, and with Nick's comments, I will definitely pick it.
Okay.
My second?
Between
it's
Sons of
gonna have to
Anarchy
be Walking Dead because it is really good, and I see why.
Yeah.
It's not my first, but it is my second.
So either way here, we're going to go to a tiebreaker coin flip. And I think for me, I'm going to say Walking Dead as well. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really know anything about Sons of Anarchy. I just don't really hear that many people talk about it, if I'm being honest. I just hear way more people talk about The Walking Dead. I just think it's a bigger show. So, once again, we had Mike start this one. So, Walking Dead was your second pick here. Heads or tails for that, Mike?
I'm going to go tails.
Tails it is. Okay, you guys lean in. Heads. So that means that the X-Files will end up winning.
So there we are at 2 o'clock in the morning, me and my moire taffeta dress and Marcus and whatever the hell it was he was wearing. Thank you very much. It had a Kelly green cummerbund on it. Anyway, so I know that Marcus is thinking that it's now or never.
All right, moving on to round number 6 here. How do you guys feel so far about this?
It's intense.
I have some mixed feelings so far.
There's definitely some mixed shows.
I'm not gonna lie,
but I think it's making
my heart was beating out of my chest at the first 3.
much more interesting reaction here. So let's see for round 6. Oh, I see a big one in here.
Oh.
All right. This will be an interesting one. We got Stranger Things, Veronica Mars, and Grey's Anatomy here. I'm going to start this one, if you guys don't mind. Veronica Mars, yet another one of the 5 that I watched. They're all coming in on this side. Now, I have to admit, it was my least favorite of the 5 that I watched. Didn't love everything about the episode. I don't think it's aged as well as people think it is, even though it's not super old. It's from 2004. But since it's the only one I've seen of these 3, that's going to have to be my pick here. And I also want to give a shout out to Kristen Bell because, she's amazing. So, Veronica Mars.
So for me, my pick's going to be Stranger Things. I actually came into Stranger Things really late to the game. Matt actually got me season 1 of Stranger Things. I watched it. I loved it. And then I put it off for like 6 months because I was just watching a whole bunch of other stuff. And I went back to it, watched 2 and 3 within like a couple of days, and I absolutely loved it. I know a lot of people really don't like the second season. I thought it was still really good. Veronica Mars I haven't seen, but I really enjoyed Kristen Bell in The Good Place, one of my favorite comedies. Yeah. Grey's Anatomy, I have not really seen much of it. It's definitely not really a show for me. I'm not really big into the medical shows, but I know it's huge. It's got a huge fandom. It's going on.
I think it's like its 16th or 17th.
Yeah, it's almost like 20
seasons.
Like but for me, Stranger Things, Stranger Things season 4 is either going to come out late 2021 or early 2022. And for me, if it hits a home run on season 4, it might be a top 3 show for me all the time. That's how good I think it is.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, so for me, we finally have a round where I know 2 of these shows. Don't know anything about Veronica Mars. Don't know what that is, but I do know the other 2. In preparation, I watched the first 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, and that was the best that I saw of all the shows I watched in preparation. Like
Interesting.
really, really good pilot. But for me, I'm gonna definitely pick Stranger Things. It's one of 3 dramas I've seen every episode of. The other 2 being Breaking Bad, and then another one we'll see later. And then Stranger Things, of course. Seasons 1 and 3 are awesome. Season 2 is kind of weak, but still pretty damn good. But definitely, if you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. Stranger Things.
All right, so far a split vote. Steph, what do you like of these?
Well, hands down, I am all for medical shows. That's my thing, 100%. I don't really know the other 2. I've seen maybe an episode or 2 of Grey's Anatomy, so that's my pick.
Fair enough.
So Grey's
All right.
Anatomy. So Stranger Things.
Stranger Things will do it.
Roll a 13 or higher.
Too risky. Cast a protection spell.
Don't be a pussy. Fireball him.
Cast protection.
The Demogorgon is tired of your silly human bickering. It stops towards you. Boom! Fireball him, Will! Stop! Boom!
Cast protection.
It moves in anger! Get back here! I'm gonna kill you!
All right, we are on to round number 7 here. We're almost done with the first half of the qualifiers here. Let's see what the next 3 shows are. Oh, okay, I got you. Whoa. Okay, I got you here.
I can really
Oh, Mike.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
Mike.
first. I'm gonna go
Game of
Wait.
Thrones.
Okay, all right. We got Game of Thrones.
The 106 feet under.
All right, we want Matt to
Wait,
go
what
first.
are they?
They're Game of Thrones, the 106 feet under.
Oh, leave me out of it.
Go ahead.
So I will go first. So I know all 3 of these, and I watched Game of Thrones in preparation. It was so bad. So I literally I got a DVD from my library of season 1, watched the first episode for like 20 minutes, and then I turned it off because it was so fucking bad. And like I just will never watch that show ever again. So it was so bad. So I'm definitely not picking Game of Thrones. I have seen the other 2. I watched 6 Feet Under's pilot in preparation as well, and that was pretty good. And I saw the 100 a long time ago when it was out, and I thought it was pretty good as well, but it's been a long time, so just because it's fresh in my mind, I will pick 6 Feet Under.
Here, why don't we have Mike go next? Because
So for me, I'm also going to go with 6 Feet Under. It's another show that I'm currently watching. I actually got into it because another show that's coming up later on the list had Michael C. Hall in it, and I was like, what other projects has he done that he's been good in? And one of them was 6 Feet Under. It's rated really well, so I was like, let me check this out, and it's actually pretty good. It's definitely a different kind of show from like, it's not like really action filled. It mainly deals that the premises is the family runs a funeral home, so it deals with like themes of death. But yeah, the acting in the show is really good, and Michael C. Hall's character David is probably my favorite in the entire show. And when you see him play his other character in the other show and his character in 6 Feet Under, they're like so different. Like that's how you can tell he's such a good actor. He can play 2 completely different characters, not even close to how they act, and he's tremendous at both of his performances. So 6 Feet Under is my pick.
Okay, Steph, you want to go next here? Game of Thrones 100.
Well, the only show I really know maybe anything about is Game of Thrones, and I might just have to roll with that one because it's the only one that I've really ever heard of. I can't say anything about really any of them, but Game of Thrones just because it's one that I hear more about than anything else.
Dude, this is the hardest round so far for me. I'm struggling so bad. I gotta say, the 100, awful. I refuse to vote for that. Sorry, Matt, I hate it. Jeez. Okay, so here's my thing with Game of Thrones. I am itching to vote for that because it's popular. Because between Game of Thrones and 6 Feet Under, I have seen exactly the same amount of episodes of each, which is 0. And I'm sorry, I just do not hear that much about Game of Thrones, other than you guys, frankly. You guys are like the only source I have from it. I'm thinking like more general, bigger picture sort of thing with this. I hate to say it because a little piece of me is gonna die right here, but I have to vote for Game of Thrones, man. Just because it's huge and like people know it. So but I honestly hope that it doesn't win, because I would be mad at myself if it does. But here, I'm gonna go Game of Thrones.
All right, so a tiebreaker.
So we'll start with Matt again.
Should we just do a coin flip at this point? Because I don't know if you guys really want to pick a second show.
No, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Well, then my second show will be the 100.
Okay, so that has a vote.
All right. So for me, my second show would be Game of Thrones of these, because I've never seen any of the one on.
I'm gonna go with 6 Feet Under, because
Yeah.
I've just heard the name, and that's.
My second would also be
So
6 Feet Under, so that one will win with 2 votes.
Why do people have to die?
To make life important. None of us know how long we've got, which is why we have to make each day matter.
All right, so for round number 8 here, this will be the final round on this side. This show will actually compete against 2 other shows, because this will be part of the wild card slot that we have. So we have 6 Feet Under, and we have Freaks and Geeks in our first wild card. So this will have even more competition, and let's see what those shows are.
I don't know anything about this wild card.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have another heavyweight on this one, it looks like. So for this round, the choices are Friday Night Lights, Dexter, and Downton Abbey. I'll start this one here. Friday Night Lights, the 4th one that we've seen of ones that I watched in advance, and that is going to be my pick here. That was my 4th favorite overall. So the only one we're missing was my runner-up of the 5 that I watched, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I was genuinely surprised by Friday Night Lights, and the main reason I'm picking it is because it surprised me. I'm not really that big of a sports guy. I know you guys know that, but it really drew me in. With its characters, its story. I think the chemistry of the cast, because it's a big cast too, has a lot of good characters on it, and they really work well with one another. That's definitely something that you can tell a show is really, really good about when it has that chemistry with it. And the other 2, I really don't know that much about. Obviously, Dexter is one of our big shows with this group, and definitely something that I could see myself getting into. Downton Abbey, though, that show just looks horrible, man. I'm sorry. You couldn't pay me enough to watch that garbage. Even though I've never seen it, I should be more objective, but that does not look appealing to me. So my vote here is going to be 5. Friday Night Lights. Excuse me.
Okay, so for me, Friday Night Lights was actually one also that I watched. I actually just watched it last night. I really liked it. It's definitely got that, takes place in Texas football. Kyle Chandler is awesome in it as the coach.
Yeah, love him.
And the players. And there's actually a really big tragedy in the pilot. I'm not going to say what happens, but something really bad happens. Friday Night Lights is good. I'm probably going to continue with it sometime, but my vote for this one's got to go to Dexter. Dexter was one of my favorite shows I watched. I watched it in all of 2020. And they're actually coming back with the revival for it. Because personally for me, I know a lot of people say that the last seasons 5 through 8 aren't that good. Personally, I enjoyed the show up until season 8. Season 8 was, kind of rough. But they're coming back with this revival. And I'm very excited for it. It's probably going to come out early 2022 or late 2021. So for my pick, I'm gonna go Dexter.
Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night.
And it's only gonna happen again and again. Definitely gotta pick Dexter. That's just like Michael. That's also the main reason why I watched 6 Feet Under, because Michael C. Hall was amazing in it. His character is really good in both shows, and he's also in another show, completely different genre, but the show Star vs. the Force of Evil on Disney Channel. That's a really cool show, and probably better than both of these other ones. But
he can go from a serial killer to
a funeral. He's a funeral director.
Director, and
then he's actually one of the villains on Star.
Okay.
But
he's got a wide variety of ranges.
Yeah. And I was gonna watch Downton Abbey as one of the pilots, but I didn't because I ran out of time. I decided between 6 Feet Under or Downton Abbey. 6 Feet Under was better, but. Yeah, the other 2 I don't know anything about. I know my parents really loved Friday Night Lights, but I don't know much about it. And then Downton Abbey just looks bad, so Dexter wins.
All right, Steph, you get the final say here.
At the very beginning of for Friday Night Lights, I did watch that, so that was quite some time ago. But I do know Dexter as well. To me, he's kind of creepy. Kind of a actor, and I don't know. that is just like a weird vibe for me. I'm not used to like a creepy kind of guy like that. I'm probably gonna go for Friday Night Lights on this one.
Interesting. So yet another.
Because I do like sports a little bit, and I do like that kind of like young teenage vibe kind of shows as well. That's always been like a connection I've had. It's just something I feel like I go like more with.
You have some like nostalgia for that.
Yeah, I absolutely love that kind of stuff, and I don't know, it just always gets my attention.
Yeah.
So I'm going for that one.
All right, so another tie with this one. So my second vote here is going to be Dexter. You could probably imagine that.
All right, so for me, mine's going to be Friday Night Lights. Again, what I said about it.
Yeah, mine will be Friday Night Lights.
And for Steph?
The second one's obviously going to be Dexter for me, because
so
that's the
Fair
only
enough.
other one I know.
All right, so another coin flip. So I started this, so I get to pick here for Friday Night Lights. I'm going to go with heads. Let's see here. Close and fair. Hey, everyone can see. Ooh, tails this time.
Okay.
So Dexter will be advancing.
So yeah, now we're on to round 9. So now I'm going to be going through these, reviewing them. Okay, so this one, oh yeah. So we got Lost, 24, and 13 Reasons Why. What a tough round.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Steph.
These are heavyweights. We're going to let Steph start this out.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Now, I do know all of these ones, and Lost I got into because of a really close friend of mine, and I watched, I'm not even sure how many seasons there are, honestly, but I watched all the way up to, I think maybe it was like 5 or 6 seasons, and I watched them straight, and so I was able to understand it. But since I didn't get to see the full season, I can't really say if that's gonna be my number one. But then also, what are the other two?
24 and 13 Reasons.
Okay, 13 Reasons Why. I do love that one a hell of a lot. And then 24, like, okay, I really do like all of this. This is really hard.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Oh man. Like, they're all intense in their own different ways, but like 13 Reasons Why is definitely my number one right here, because there's just, it's like all this stuff based on like real life things that are happening, and like things need to be done about it, and like I don't know, just like so many different plots that have to do with it, and then the drama, and then like suicide and kids dying and stuff. Like that, I think it needs a lot more awareness, and people really need to watch that one, because I think like it can help other people as well, not only just because of the show.
Right, because it brings, it's like very relevant topics.
Almost like reality type things happening, like this really does.
Yeah.
So
this,
yeah.
all right, so
I love
I had a prediction early on that 13 Reasons Why was going to be really far, was going to go very far, because I think it's the only show that you three have seen the entire thing of that I've never watched. So it's going to be kind of frustrating, because even though it's really popular, I've heard really mixed things about its quality. Season 1, great. Season 2 through 4, not so great. Some people, there's, I don't even know if you guys know about this, but there's a thing called hate watching, which is like when you watch a show purposefully just to hate on it. And I do that in certain shows.
Never.
But
It's not worth my time.
But yeah,
Game
but
of
apparently
Thrones.
13 Reasons Why, the main reason why it's as big as it is because a lot of people claim they watch it just because they don't like it and just to make fun of it. So as far as quality goes, I'm completely lost on where to vote for 13 Reasons Why.
Okay, pun. Lost.
Lost, yeah. And speaking of Lost, that seems like a show that I would really get into. I think Lost directly has impacted so many more shows, because now any sort of like survival type show or like action show just seems like a Lost ripoff. Like that's what I refer to it as. And like Lost was the OG in that, so major props there. But despite that, 24 is going to be my vote here. Mostly on account that it was my second favorite of the pilots that I watched. So there, you have your list. Mad Men, 24, Breaking Bad, Friday Night Lights, and Veronica Mars. That's how it rounds out. And I really like Kiefer Sutherland as Jack Bauer. That's probably going to be, not really a hot take by any means, but still worth noting. And that's what I got to say on
All
that.
right, so for me, this is actually kind of tough as well. I haven't seen any of Lost, but I know Lost. It's always known for like the twists and turns and the mystery about it. It's definitely one that maybe down the line I'll check out. 24, along with Nick, was one of the pilots I watched, and I loved it. Like I said, I've seen some of the show back when I was like really little, but I don't really remember much about it. But yeah, Jack Bauer's character is really good, and I like the concept of it, how it takes place in real time. But for me, I think I gotta go 13 Reasons Why here. I really enjoyed the first season. The next three were not really the best. I really wasn't big at all on season 4. I'm actually one of the people who actually kind of enjoyed season 3. I just like the mystery of like, I'm not gonna like spoil it, but kind of try and find out who did it. So I like that. I know that was kind of a hated season, but for me, season 1 is a great. It was really well done. So for me, I'm gonna go 13 Reasons.
I'm also going to go with 13 Reasons. I don't really know much about Lost or 24, and I don't really have a lot of interest in seeing them, but with 13 Reasons, they've pretty much said it already. The first season's amazing, the rest are pretty bad, but that first season is just top-notch television, so definitely going to pick it.
All right, so 13 Reasons will be advancing here, and that actually has the biggest score so far of any of the votes. That has 3 votes here.
Oh, party in my house tomorrow night. You're invited. It's mandatory. Don't bring the helmet.
Okay, so now we are on to round number 10. All right.
Oh.
So we got Chicago Fire, Jane the Virgin, and Peaky Blinders. All right, so this is
very interesting. Can I go first on this one? Yeah. All right, so for me, this is really funny because Chicago Fire was one of the few shows that I was really, really like. I wasn't into it initially, but it grew on me a lot. And I would say of all the shows that we have represented here, it's easily a top 5 for me now. I always look forward to watching it week by week. One of the shows that me and Steph are currently watching, along with Med and PD. But I'd say Fire is probably my second favorite of the 3. I like PD a lot, but Fire is also really good. Jane the Virgin. That one, I got to admit, I was kind of intrigued by that when it first came out, but since then, like, that show came out in, 2014 or something? Yeah. 2013. Since then, I have not even thought about it until we were making this list, and Matt brought it up, so I'm curious what he has to say on that. And then Peaky Blinders, that's probably the one that I know the least about of any of these shows, other than the fact that Bryan Cranston's in it. So this is a really easy pick for me. I got to go Chicago Fire here.
All right, so for me, this one I don't really know much about Chicago Fire or Jane the Virgin. For me, that's Peaky Blinders was another pilot that I watched, and when I read the description of it, I was like, this is a show for me because I really like gang violence action shows. And if you don't know, the Peaky Blinders are supposed to be like a gang violence group in like the 1920s in like Britain, so it's kind of interesting. You see the first episode, you kind of see how they kind of work. So for me, I'm going to go Peaky Blinders.
For me, I don't know anything about the Chicago shows. I know these two are big on them, but I don't really know much. And then Peaky Blinders, I don't know much about. My math teacher really liked it, but that's the only thing I know about it. But as Nick mentioned, I did watch Jane the Virgin. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I watched Jane the Virgin back in 2015, and I thought it was kind of alright, but I thought I was a little too young to watch it. But now, I actually would watch it, to be honest. I was really intrigued by the plot when it came out, so I will pick Jane the Virgin.
So Steph again with another tie-breaking vote.
Yeah, definitely gonna be Chicago Fire for me. I've never even heard of those other two. I don't know. I can't say anything about it at all whatsoever. I'm not even gonna remember the name of those shows because that's how rare they are to me. Chicago Fire I've been watching since day one, and I absolutely love that one, to be honest. And there's some characters I know actually from House that are actually in that one. Who the guy Jesse Spencer who plays Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also
he was
in
on House. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he was, and that was how I got hooked on who he was, and so that's my connection between those two. And nice. I love his characters in both of those shows, completely different, and he's also in a few movies as well. So I got to know the show pretty well and all the other characters, and it's been pretty great. And I don't know, I just can't get my eye off of it.
Easy one for that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going in. It's unstable. Aren't we all?
Now we are on to round 11. All right, so
start a new sub bracket.
So we got Orange is the New Black, Law and Order SVU, and Riverdale.
I'm just gonna bury my head right now.
She's seen all three of these, so let her go first.
So
she's seen
Steph,
She's seen
this
all
is definitely
Wait, okay, so
Orange, SVU, and Riverdale.
Okay, so Orange is the New Black. Okay, well that one I know the least about. Then Special Victims Unit and Riverdale. Okay, speechless here.
This is a tough one.
Okay,
man.
I do absolutely love both of those shows, but Law and Order has been around a lot longer, and I am more into the crime shows. And I have been for a very long time, and from a very young age I wanted to be a CSI, and I don't know. I'm just going to go with Law and Order because that just says it all right there. They've been around for like 22 seasons, and like it never gets bad. It's always getting better as the seasons go on, even though some characters go, some come, some will like come back as like guests or whatever, but like you never know what's gonna happen next. And I just love that there's actually a show that can go that long and still continues to surprise me. So Law and Order it is.
Matt, why don't you go next?
All right, so for me, the only one I have seen of these is SVU. I have not seen Orange is the New Black or Riverdale, but I do want to check out Riverdale for sure. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard kids my age should really like it. So, but for me, Law and Order are definitely going to pick that. In this house, we are a huge Law and Order family. My parents, and then obviously Nick and Stephanie over here, they are just huge fans of that show. And I like it. I've seen a lot of it, and I think it's good, but I just think it's so overrated in this house. But I will still pick it just because it's the main one I've seen of these.
So for me as well, I'm going to pick SVU as well. So this is probably the first one with the clean sweep. It's definitely one that I want to check out. It's definitely the one thing that's always turned me off about it that I don't want to see is because it's so freaking long, and I really like finishing like the entire series of shows. So that's why I haven't really checked it out much, but I do know most of the characters on it, and I know it's really loved. And I'm also like Steph, I love crime shows, so it's definitely one that I want to check out. Riverdale, I've heard a little bit about. It definitely had some buzz towards the beginning, but I haven't really seen much about it. I know one of the Sprouse twins is on it, and then and then Orange is the New Black I've never seen. So SVU is my pick.
All right, I'm going to make this really short. I'm going to say SVU as well. I don't think I really need to explain much because I think these guys did it justice here. But I also feel like we're going to get more chances to talk about it later on. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
All right,
hit it, Mike.
So round 12 here. So we got SVU heavyweight, first one to sweep the round. So let's see. Okay, so we got American Crime, Xena, Warrior Princess, and The Sopranos. All right, so who's gonna start here?
I'll go first on this one because I want to talk about American Crime. I know I said Stumptown was the most underrated. I think American Crime is maybe the most underrated drama that I've ever seen. Regardless of any show that's on here or out there, this show was on for 3 seasons back in 2015, and I think it was hella slept on. Like, the first season, quality-wise, up there with your Breaking Bads, your Law and Orders, your 13 Reasons Why, 24, all those like top-tier shows that you know. The first season of American Crime has that same level of quality in its writing, in its directing, and its acting. The only flaw I have with it is that it takes a little bit to get into the story. That is the only negative thing I can say about it. Other than that, though, it is amazing.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go with The Sopranos on this one. I'm actually currently watching The Sopranos for the first time. I am through the first 2 seasons, and I really enjoyed it. I definitely think there's definitely some slower parts of the show, but I really do like the show a lot. I think Tony Soprano's great, and there's a lot of great other side characters in the show as well. And if you like mafia and mob sort of feels and tones, then you'll definitely like The Sopranos.
So for me, I am also going to pick The Sopranos. I'm also watching it right now. I'm on season 1 right now, and I just every time I watch it, it's not that great so far. It's kind of slow so far from what I've seen, but every time I watch it, I just think, like, people always say this is just classic HBO, this is classic TV, this is the best TV show ever, and I think, yeah, this is classic HBO right here, so definitely gonna pick Sopranos.
All right, Steph, comes down to you.
You want
2-1 split so far.
American Crime, Xena, or The Sopranos?
Okay, I absolutely refuse to watch The Sopranos. Just the name of it just gives off a vibe that I don't even want to get into it. And then I don't know anything about American Crime. Never even heard of it.
So,
and Xena, I grew up to that. And I watched that show like when I was in 3rd grade. And she's the warrior princess. I mean, can't beat that.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, 100% Xena.
So, The Sopranos will advance with 2 votes.
Why do you think I toss at night? Ain't just the apnea.
I notice you haven't been taking your antidepressants.
And yet the bonefish are back in season. Should count our blessings, kind of year I just had.
No, you're right. We're very lucky.
$40 for a piece of fish they just flew in 1st class. I think we're more than lucky.
All right, so now we're on to round 13. Okay, so we got Twilight Zone, probably is the oldest show on this list. Yeah. WandaVision and Hill Street Blues.
Wait, you said WandaVision?
WandaVision.
All right, can I start this one?
Yeah.
For me, Hill Street Blues is the one that I have not seen of these 3, but I do respect it a lot because it laid the groundwork for a lot of the police procedural shows that would come after it. Huge influence in that respect, so I have a lot of respect for it. Twilight Zone is another one that I really, really enjoy as well. I think arguably the most influential show of all the ones we have, and we were talking about it earlier, definitely the oldest show that we have, and again, it gives a lot of credit to it that even 50, 60 years later we're still talking about it, and how iconic it is. But I think for me, I'm gonna have to go WandaVision on this one. I recently finished it. It's a pretty short grind. It's only 9 episodes. And I think for me, the big draw was the sitcom factors in it. You could even argue it as more of a sitcom than a drama. But I really did enjoy a lot of the action moments that it had. And I personally really like the finale. That's another one that kind of had a polarizing finale for some people. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the action on it was really good. So WandaVision for me, and I'll pass it to Mike here.
For me, I'm definitely gonna go WandaVision as well. It was another pilot that I watched during kind of just researching these shows. I actually enjoyed it. First, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because the pilot kind of starts off a little bit slow, but then when you get into it, it really picks up. It's really good. I like the characters of Wanda and Vision. I think they're interesting. Hill Street Blues and Twilight Zone I haven't seen any episodes from, so I'm gonna go WandaVision.
So for me, I am going to go with the Twilight Zone because I have only seen a few episodes of it, and it is, like Nick said, arguably the most influential show on here and also the most old. But I think that it is very legendary. It's probably, some people would maybe argue it's the best TV show of all time, so I honestly agree. It is pretty damn good. Don't know anything about WandaVision. I don't really care about watching it, and I was going to watch Hill Street Blues, but I just ran out of time, so I will pick Twilight Zone.
I don't know anything about WandaVision, or however the hell you say it, or the other one. So I'm just going to go with Twilight Zone, because that's the only one that I have a little bit of knowledge to, because it kind of is in the same category as X-Files in a little bit of a way, and that's the only way that I kind of had found out about it, because that was through my mom at the time. So I'm just gonna stick with that.
All
right, so we have another tiebreaker here, 2-2. That's been a very common result of these matchups.
Yeah, pretty much.
For my second vote, between Twilight Zone and Hill Street Blues. Both very influential, both very popular. I think I'm going to go with Twilight Zone here. It's a tough call because, like I said, I have a lot of respect for both, but I think Steph is right. I think it definitely gave the way to future shows like The X-Files with its mix of sci-fi and thriller, and obviously those become very popular nowadays. So I'm going to go with the Twilight Zone here.
All right, so for me, I'm actually going to go with Hill Street Blues. The Twilight Zone is just something that I don't think I can get into. I know it's one of the most influential shows, but it's just not something that I think I would ever really check out. Hill Street Blues, though, I've heard good things about. But yeah, so out of those two, I'd pick Hill Street Blues.
I am also going to go with Hill Street Blues.
Interesting. All right, so your choices are WandaVision or Hill Street Blues here, babe.
Is it
Your second
Wanda or
Wanda?
Wanda. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that one because
So
I'm done
Hill
talking.
Street Blues got 2 votes.
So it's between WandaVision and the Twilight Zone as the second vote. I started this.
Everyone's
so
saying really
my
good things.
initial vote was for WandaVision. So that will be heads. Everyone. Tails. Twilight Zone advances here.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
So next we have round 14. Damn. Alright, so we got 911, The Good Doctor, and Mayans MC.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you let Steph go first here?
Wait, what was that last one?
Mayans MC. That's
Okay, I've never heard of
911
that
and Good
in my whole life. So I do know Good Doctor and I do know 911, and I know those both very well. And I'm a very strong fan on both of those. And okay, well, 911 I've been watching since the beginning, and then when COVID happened, I got bored and I found out about I found on Hulu about The Good Doctor, so I gave that a chance and I got hooked pretty fast. I'm still gonna aim a little bit. I mean, it's a really good show, but I'm still gonna aim for 911 just because I don't know. I know it's like really unrealistic kind of show. Like the storylines are kind of ridiculous in some of the areas, but at the same time, I don't know. It just still pulled me in every time. Yeah, 911 it will be for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go 911 as well. I actively watch that with Steph. I don't watch The Good Doctor as much with her, but I have seen a few episodes. But 911 is the one I'm most familiar with here. And I basically agree with most of what Steph said. The plots are kind of over the top and unrealistic, but it's kind of like just a fun, show that you can just get into and kind of turn your brain off. But I also really like its spin-off show Lone Star. That one has Rob Lowe in it. Of the two, that one I really like, but I like the original as well. So 2 votes for 911.
Yeah, there is a little bit of funniness to it, I will say. Yeah.
Alright, so for me, I'm going to go Mayans MC. I know probably none of these people have heard of the show. It's a spin-off of Sons of Anarchy, which was in the previous round. It's a great show. It's actually currently filmed, as we're filming this, they're currently in the 3rd season right now, and I've been watching it, and it's been great. I know some people who are Sons of Anarchy fans are kind of mixed on it. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. I like it a lot. I don't think it's as good as Sons of Anarchy. It's really good. I really like the direction they're taking the show right now. So I'm gonna go Mayans.
Right. So I don't really know anything about any of these shows, but From what these guys are saying, I will actually go with 911. I've heard pretty good things about it. I've seen ads for it so much because Fox is like the only network I really watch when I watch my cartoons on Sundays, and I see promos all the time for it. So I will go at 911.
Nice. That one has 3 votes, and that one will advance.
Save him.
All right, take the kid.
No, I'm not leaving without you.
Okay, baby, listen. Look, the firemen are here, okay? I need you to get on their boat so they can do their job. If everyone is worried about you and your pretty face, how are they going to do what they need to do to save me? Have I ever lied to you? Then you have to believe me. I will be with you again so soon. Bobby loves you so much. Do this for me. Okay. Okay.
So now we're on to round 15.
So I'm trying to think of what's left.
So we got The Flight Attendant, Law and Order, the original, and This Is Us.
Oh, jeez, bro. Are you serious?
So this
We gotta have Steph go.
This is gonna be
We gotta
Steph's
have
toughest
Steph
round.
go.
So we got This Is Us, Law and Order, the original, and Flight Attendant.
Okay, yeah, you just killed me there a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these
Okay.
rounds Steph knew
Okay,
all of them.
yes, I do. And the plain Law and Order, it was good when it was going, and then one of the main characters had passed, and I was really sad about it. And then, I don't know, Special Victims happened, and I got hooked on that. And then Law and Order just kind of faded out of my mind, and it was just Special Victims Unit from that point on. But between the other two, like, those are also in my, like, I don't know, top 10 favorite shows. This is pretty hard. Shoot.
Nail biter on this one.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, This Is Us. Like, okay, there's too much to say about that one, like, without giving things away for fans who haven't seen it, or people who haven't seen it, or people who have, like, kind of not watched maybe the last season or rest of the season, but, what's the other one?
Flight Attendant.
Flight Attendant, okay. I honestly like the Flight Attendant a lot, and like, it is hard to watch unless you know it from the very beginning, because it's kind of like a story that goes like back and forth constantly, and you have to pay really close attention to it. Otherwise, it's just like you're just not.
There's a lot going on with it. A lot of small details you gotta.
Also, like with Lost, you would also have to pay attention to it from the very beginning, because there's a lot of going back and forth. Like, you're just gonna lose your mind and not know what's happening. You're just gonna lose your train of thought. But man, this is really hard. I might go This Is Us for the time being, just because it's got one of my favorite actresses in it, which is Mandy Moore. And then it's got that Milo guy who is also from Gilmore Girls. And I don't know. I just feel like that one is a little more family oriented. It's completely different, but also it also has its drama type at the same time. So I don't know. It's just gonna be This Is Us for now.
You'll have Mecca.
Alright, so for me, This Is Us just looks bad. And like in this house, we kind of make fun of it a lot. It just doesn't look too good, so definitely not going to pick that. I don't know. In this house, we just kind of joke around with it for some reason. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it, but we just kind of make fun of it a lot. But beyond that, I don't really know much about Flight Attendant, so I will pick the original Law & Order. I have seen it, and again, with the same thing with SVU, it's like, it's so big in this house, and like, my parents love it, and obviously Nick and Stephanie talk about it, so definitely we'll pick that.
Alright. So for me, I'm also going to go with Law & Order. I haven't seen The Flight Attendant yet. I do like Kaylee Cuoco, though, as an actress. This Is Us. I've heard some people talk about it, but it's never really been a show that I kind of want to see. Law & Order. Again, I've never been really big into Law & Orders, but I know how big it is with a lot of people. And you can't beat what started it all, the original Law & Order. I mean, look at all the spin-offs. Now we got Organized Crime coming out. It's like all these spin-offs. There's like so many. Yeah. It's like insane. You take
Trial by Jury.
Law & Order started that all, so I'm going to go with that one.
Well, I wanted these guys to go first because I was curious if they were going to vote for Law and Order because that was going to be my vote. I would have been very upset with you too. No, I'm joking. Now, I kind of agree with Matt in the sense that I'm not too big on This Is Us. That doesn't seem like a show that would appeal to me. But I did watch The Flight Attendant with Steph we actually just finished it yesterday, the first season. So that one is the most recent of all the shows that we've watched. And I will say I wasn't really big on it up until the last episode. The last episode was really good, and it really tied everything together. So it has bumped up a little bit for that, but I still think that Law & Order is my favorite of these.
Nice selection of 10s and 20s. Probably not a mugging. Martin Felder, 13 East 82nd Street. New York Bar Association. The guy's a lawyer.
I'll be in mourning for the next 5 minutes.
And that one will go against Better Call Saul, as well as our last show here on round 16, which will be revealed now.
So we got
the final three.
Prison Break, Blue Bloods, and Good Girls.
Okay. All right, I'll go first here. For me, I know nothing about Prison Break. So I actually want to propose this as a group because there's Prison Break and then there's Oz. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like more people actively have talked about Oz since both of those shows have been on. But maybe it's just me.
I've heard more about Prison Break, but that might just be the people I'm looking at.
Probably a little more on Prison Break,
Prison
even though
Break.
I don't know it, but I hear more about it.
Okay, because I don't know, because obviously Prison Break is the one we
I
have.
don't know anything about Oz.
But I just figured of like that particular specific category, I just feel like Oz is bigger, so it's kind of hard for me to vote for Prison Break, seeing as I haven't seen it, but I have seen the other two. And I think for this one, I'm going to go Blue Bloods. That's the one that I've watched the most of. I really like Tom Selleck as Frank Reagan in that show. He's my favorite character. And again, it's another police procedural one, which is, you guys know, is my favorite type of drama here. So pretty easy pick for me with Blue Bloods. Send it to Mike here.
All right, so for me, of these ones, I haven't seen the other two, Blue Bloods and Good Girls. Prison Break, I've seen the pilot of, and it really hooked me. I know about if you're kind of wondering about like the story, it's about basically what the title says. So basically, the main character's brother is falsely incarcerated for killing the vice president's brother, and he gets himself incriminated in the pilot, and his goal is, of course, to break his brother out of prison because he's innocent. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to go with Prison Break on this one. Definitely when I get some time and I finish some of my other dramas I'm watching, that is going to be first on my list.
Okay.
All right, so for me, I don't know much about Prison Break or Blue Bloods. I've heard really good things about Prison Break, and it does sound a little intriguing, but for me, I'm actually going to go with Good Girls. I have never seen it, but I do really like Retta, I think her name is.
Yeah, from Parks and Rec.
She is really funny, so I think just from that, like,
That
she's
one
the only
factor
actress
is enough to
I
know your whole
The only
film.
person I know on the show.
That's funny.
The only name I know from any of those shows, actually. Yeah, she's really good, so I will pick Good Girls.
Okay. All right, Matt or Steph, excuse
has
me.
the tie-breaking vote again. So,
I
Prison Break.
don't really know Good Girls that much, and I've heard things about Prison Break, but the only one I know is Blue Blood, and I've seen a couple episodes here and there. I kind of go in and out with watching it. Like, I'll be interested, then I'll fade from it, then I'll get kind of pulled back in. But it's just like, it's not in my top favorite shows. But since that's the only one that I can really say anything about, honestly, it's just, I'm going to go for that.
Fair enough. All right, so 2 for Blue Bloods there. That will round out the qualifiers. So we have narrowed it down to our 16 top shows here with the 2 wild cards. And soon enough, we will begin eliminating those.
Up against the table, all of you. Turn around. Get over.
Alex, you I did not see.
That was maybe the hardest part, Frank. Getting over on you.
I won't ask why. There's millions of reasons in those bags. But how could you look at me?
Your trust was my insurance.
All right, guys, we have gone through the qualifiers. We have seen every show on the tournament, and we are down to our top 16 with the wild cards here. We're going to start in the top left corner. These two advanced from the first round, House and Breaking Bad. And I'm going to have Matt go first here because he's the only one that's seen both of these.
I will definitely pick Breaking Bad over House. Like I said, I thought House was pretty good. Hugh Laurie is a pretty good character, but Breaking Bad, I saw every episode for, so definitely gonna pick Breaking Bad.
I still don't know anything about Breaking Bad, but I'm always hearing good things about it. But then I have known House from the beginning to end, and I love Hugh Laurie and his sarcasm and his blunt honesty. And if something's like wrong with like any of the patients or whatever, like he kind of just like knows right from the get-go almost like what it could be out of like two different series. So I'm still sticking with House.
All right, so
for me, this is much easier than it was from the round coming into it. This time I am going to say Breaking Bad because I did watch an episode. I've never seen House. So
for me, I gotta go Breaking Bad. Like I said earlier, just a great show. The one thing about Breaking Bad, though, that I really wish that would be improved is the female characters on the show.
Yes.
I would...
Marie, bro.
Yeah, so me and Matt, we've been talking about it, and like we would almost say it's like a perfect show, but the one thing that holds back for me is the female characers. You need us.
Well, at least Marie specifically.
Yeah.
Like Skylar's good, but Marie is just
not very big on Skylar.
Skylar's an important character though. But Marie, you can just forget about.
Yeah.
The only thing you know about her is that she loves the color purple.
Yeah.
That's the
she
only
wears the
factor
color
that
purple
she
in
has.
every single episode. Yeah. So yeah, Breaking Bad though is advancing for me.
Hank,
Well, let me know if you need anything, huh?
I will. Thank you, Carmen.
Damn. Chick's got an ass like an onion. Makes me want to cry.
All right. The next one here, we have The Wire versus Big Sky. So this time I'll go first here. And I sung the praises of Big Sky before, and I'm going to do it again. Big Sky all the way here. Like I said, no disrespect to The Wire. I feel like The Wire is one of those shows that I just need a push to get watching. And I think by the end of this tournament, you guys will have given me enough commentary on it, and we'll see if it wins this round. That'll be the push that I need to start watching it. But as of now, Big Sky, that is a show that I'm really hooked on. I'm actually kind of upset because they keep taking hiatuses because of COVID, because they're actively working the production while COVID's happening, so they can only make as many as they can at a time. So it keeps like taking hiatuses week to week. But every time it's on, that's always one that I look forward to watching.
All right, so for me, I gotta go to The Wire here. I've heard I've heard great things about Big Sky from these people, but like I said, The Wire I'm currently watching, and one thing I really like about The Wire is it literally puts you really see all of the police side. So if you like the police side of stories, you see the police, and you see the criminal side. You see both sides of it, so it's really good. If you like I said, if you like the police and the crime, you get the best of both worlds with that. Like I said, it's just a very well acted show. I love the criminals in the show are really good. Omar Little is one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I'm gonna go The Wire.
This American man. The only thing I know about The Wire is that line, so that's why I'm picking it.
All right, Steph, what do you have here, Wire or Big Sky?
I'm going with Big Sky because, like, I've watched it since it started, from the beginning to where it's at right now, and it does get my attention, and it's very different from a lot of the other shows. Like, I don't know, it's just really good, and I think other people need to watch it before they can really fully judge.
Right. Yeah.
Alright, so...
No, the other thing, real quick about Big Sky is, like, we have been watching it, and now we see the actors on other shows, too. Because you look at the cast, and you're like,
because
honestly, you probably don't recognize these people.
You'll go back to another show that's, like, a lot older from, like, the 90s or early 2000s, and we'll just be like, oh, my God.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, no, we were watching Chicago PD, and the main bad guy on Big Sky is fucking on Chicago PD, and we're like, what the hell?
Laughing about it, like, oh my God, so different from
So that's
this
the other
character.
thing I just want to point out. So, all right, so
who
then
had more votes in the first round?
it was a tie.
So
they each had two.
Coin
flip. And I started this, so I'm going to pick Big Sky here. I'm going to go with heads. This is intense here.
I think heads is
Let's
not
do it.
always.
Heads it is! Let's go. Big Sky has made it to the top 8, and that'll compete against Breaking Bad.
You are going to cost me my pension, I'm sure of it.
I promise to behave. Let's take my truck. Cop cars tend to spook.
That they do. I hope you got a good chassis, because we'll be covering some bumpy territory. Man, you get good reception.
Hey, we're headed to the church.
Now?
It's a long shot, but I'm out here.
I got this state trooper with me. He knows the area.
Even so, Cody.
I'll call you when I learn more, okay?
All right, moving on to the next set of the advancements here. We have the X-Files and Stranger Things. This will be an interesting one. Why don't we have Mike go first?
Okay, so for me, this easy one for me, Stranger Things. Man, I'm on the Stranger Things hook right now because that was one of the shows that just hooked me so much in March. It's probably like the best show I watched in March. Oh, it was so good. I'm so eager and waiting for the season 4. Yeah, Stranger Things. X-Files, though, I know actually some people in Breaking Bad, like the creator of Vince Gilligan and Bryan Cranston, and Aaron Paul and Dean Norris have also been in episodes of the X-Files. So that's about as much as I know about the X-Files. Yeah. And then, Stranger Things is my pick.
For my vote, I have 3 words. Friends don't lie.
Yeah.
Stranger Things is my vote.
Well, I'm going for X-Files because I still have known that from my childhood, and I'm just sticking with it.
I'm going to rep the X-Files too, because that's one that I voted in to get to the spot. I did not vote for Stranger Things. But I do want to say, because now that we've been sitting here and we've been thinking about it, I think X-Files seems like the kind of show that I could get into. Because we talk about how it's influenced and stuff, and from the Twilight Zone, we talked about how that was a big influence on it and stuff. So I think that might be a show that I walk away with this a little more intrigued by after this.
All right. So who had more votes, X-Files or Stranger Things?
So
it was a
drum
tie.
roll, please.
They both did Stranger Things. We both did X-Files, but
going into this,
it was at 1.5.
So
yeah, X-Files was at 1.5. Stranger Things was at 2.
Okay.
So Stranger Things has it.
Sorry. Spasm.
It's okay, Allie. It's just a loud noise.
All right, this one I'm excited for. We have 6 Feet Under, our wild card this time around, which is Freaks and Geeks and Dexter. So, of course, I'm going to let Mike.
So for me, I've seen all 3 of these shows. I guess I'm close to finishing 6 Feet Under, but I've seen all Freaks and Geeks and all of Dexter. This is, I would like to call the Michael C. all around. Even though he's not in Freaks and Geeks, he's huge in 6 Feet Under and Dexter. Yeah. So for this one, I love all 3 of these shows. I think all 3 of these shows are like S or A tier. Freaks and Geeks is definitely one that it's definitely gained some pop culture now that it's been off the air, and it produced some of the biggest stars like Seth Rogen, James Franco. But for me, of these shows, I like Dexter the most, so I'm going to go with Dexter. About a serial killer killing other serial killers.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting show. You always are on the edge of the seat whether he's going to get caught or not. It's so good.
So for me, I have also seen all 3 of these. Like I said, I did see about half of the pilot for 6 Feet Under. I thought it was pretty good. And then Freaks and Geeks, I haven't seen that in so long. It's been almost 10 years since I watched it, but looking back, Jason Segel, Linda Cardinelli, Seth Rogen, James Franco, they're all amazing on the show. But surprise, I'm going with Dexter. It's just a pretty great show, and Michael C. Hall just absolutely kills in it, literally. So, yeah, Dexter.
Okay, I really don't know too much about all of these shows, but the only one I know a little to anything about, because I've watched an episode or 2, is Dexter, so I'm gonna go with that one.
All right.
Well, my hands are tied here because Dexter is going to advance regardless, but for me it would be Freaks and Geeks. That's my favorite of these 3.
Maybe you should have
Oh, excuse me. Wow, my throat did not like that vote. Freaks and Geeks, like these guys were saying, just produced some of the most high-profile actors of our time. James Franco, Seth Rogen, endless names from that show. Dexter, like Mike said, very interesting premise. I think that's definitely the draw for most people. And even though I haven't seen it and I'm not voting for it, I would still say that it deserves to win this round here. And that one will go against Stranger Things during our top 8. All right, so for our next setup, we have 13 Reasons Why and Chicago Fire, two that I think are definitely capable of going to the top 8 here, two that I think are obviously very popular in their own right. But there's only one for me, and that show is Chicago Fire. I talked about it earlier as being part of the Chicago's Dick Wolf franchise, of course, one of my favorite creators. 13 Reasons Why, like I said, just looking from the outside in, it's just hard to gauge, quality-wise. I think unless you have seen it for yourself, because from everyone that I've talked to about it, just everyone has such a different opinion on the quality of the seasons and stuff, so it's really hard to gauge. But Chicago Fire, on the other hand, consistently great throughout. I don't think there's a weak season in there. And like Steph was saying earlier, the cast as well, very diverse cast, very popular in other shows as well. So for me, Chicago Fire.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go 13 Reasons. I haven't seen Chicago Fire. 13 Reasons, I actually have a friend who will refuse to watch the show. He will not watch.
Really?
He will refuse. He said himself he will not watch 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, and I can understand that because there's definitely some touchy topics, with the suicide.
It can be triggering.
But yeah, for me, I think the first season is incredible. I think if you want to just watch the first season, you should be good. Because like I said, the last other 3 seasons aren't as good. But yeah, 13 Reasons Why for me.
Hey, it's Hannah. Adjust whatever device you're listening this to on, because I'm picking 13 Reasons.
Yeah.
That's just doing fucking quotes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something creative for all these, but yeah.
All right, so you guys said 13 Reasons.
Yeah.
Steph. So she's the one that's seen both, so this is going to be a tough
this
choice.
is really hard for me. They're both very, very different in several ways. And, okay, Chicago's been around a little bit longer than 13 Reasons Why, but then also the thing where I think a lot of fans are not watching, or a lot of people are not watching 13 Reasons Why, maybe because it's not on TV and it's only on like streamings and stuff, versus you can watch Chicago on Hulu or you can watch it on actual TV or whichever. So it's very hard to pick because for 13 Reasons Why it is very deep and personal and very touchy on a lot of subjects and a lot of scenes and certain characters. And then with Chicago, it's just strong from the beginning to the end. And and then a lot of characters that are in it do come from other shows or are very popular because of this. It's very hard
Tough
to
call,
say.
right?
My hands are pretty much tied here, but I might just go with Chicago Fire because I want more people to get into that so they can get into the whole Chicago series, not just the fire, but the PD and the med as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good jumping on point.
Who had more votes?
With that said, though, I'm looking at our records here. Chicago Fire had 2 votes going into it. 13 Reasons Why has 3. That one will be advancing.
Stop having so much fun, Clay.
I'm having fun. Totally. Woo!
You're too bummed up.
Okay, so next we have SVU versus Sopranos, 2 heavyweight drama series that are some of the biggest of all time. So for this one, for me, like I said, I really haven't seen much of SVU. I'm going to go with The Sopranos. I really like The Sopranos. I think it's a great mafia mob sort of feel. Sopranos is really good, and I can't wait to get to the infamous finale and see how that is.
Yeah. Don't stop. I'm not gonna pick Sopranos though. Like I said before, it is a good HBO show. Like, and it's just, it feels like classic HBO. You know, that's like the whole reason why it exists, is to watch The Sopranos and a few other shows that came out. But Sopranos was like the first major breakthrough show. I feel like that maybe that's not true. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just their biggest show. But I will still pick SVU.
It's still gonna be Special Victims Unit all the way.
Yeah, SVU for me easily.
I can't say anything about the other one.
Yeah, for me, I do want to jump in here that, like, because we talk about this as, like, our personal opinions, right, obviously, and, like, these two shows from the outside, and if you were just comparing facts, statistics, anything like that, these two would be neck and neck, guys. These are, like, you cannot underestimate the importance of both of these, the influence of both. Sopranos, top TV show of all time from several publications. Rolling Stone, I know, has it, several websites. SVU, longest running scripted drama of all time. 500 episodes, 22 seasons. I mean, those are stacked facts right there.
It's a little creepy that you know that much.
Well, you do your research for these types of videos.
A little bit too much.
So like, objectively speaking, both of these could easily be, these could be the final two shows, honestly, and it would be a tough call. But for this, for me personally, SVU has the edge. All right, so our next round here, kind of the black sheep, admittedly, here, Twilight Zone and 911. These are two shows that I'm familiar with, and in a surprising fate, I think I'm going to go with 911 here, because the Twilight Zone, as much as I can definitely respect it, has a lot of influence from the way that it introduced certain genres, and it was one of the first to do that. I've seen more of 911, and it's one of the more relevant shows that we're talking about here, because aside from like SVU and Big Sky, all the other ones that we have put forward, it's one of the few that is still actively making new episodes and stuff like that. So it's a little more relevant to the conversation. And like I said, I enjoy it personally, one that I'm familiar with. So
yeah, it's kind of more into the medical kind of thing for me. And I do know Twilight, but it's been a very long time since I've watched that. And I've leaned more on to 911 for several different reasons. I've got to know a lot of actors that I had never heard or seen before. And so it just kind of triggered me to watch it from that point. And then with like the latest 2 seasons having Jennifer Lopez join, and then that just really made me like it a lot more because she came from a lot of other shows I have watched. Right. And that was Ghost Whisperer and The Client List, and then even in Criminal Minds for like a season or 2. And like, I don't know, I've just always loved her, and I just like how the show can be a little bit like dramatic and funny at the same time.
Good
so
mix.
It's good that it's not all just like sad, scary stuff, but has like a little bit of kind of like a happy side to it as well.
Okay, Matt, what do you think?
I will pick the Twilight Zone. I have, like I said in the last one, I did pick 911, but I've never really seen it, so I will pick Twilight Zone.
Alright, so for me, this is tough. So basically, for me, I don't know anything about either one of these. Well, I'm just going to base off of, if I was told to choose one of these two and I had to watch it, which one would I pick? I think I would take 911 over Twilight.
Interesting.
Yeah, so for me, that's what I'm basing it off of.
That one has 3 votes.
So I'm going to go 911.
Where's the captain? Not much we can do for him. Speed of impact tore him clean in 2. He's lost a lot of blood, but I don't know how he's made it this long.
The helmet probably kept him from dying on impact. The circulatory system is keeping his heart beating, killing him at the same time, pumping all his blood out into the street. He's got minutes.
So, the next round we have here is Law and Order, Better Call Saul is the wild card, and Blue Bloods. So we're going to have Matt start this off.
So, we haven't talked about Better Call Saul yet. I did watch that one. I watched the first season and a little bit of season 2. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, so that's why I stopped watching it. But if I were to come back to it, I would much rather watch that than start Law and Order or Blue Bloods, because I do like the original, but I think it's not as good as SVU, so I will say Better Call Saul on this one.
I'm gonna still stick, even though I know Blue Bloods and I know Law and Order, I don't really know the other one very much at all. I'm still gonna go with probably Law and Order because that's what got me into Special Victims Unit, and from that point on, so that's just where my heart is.
Yeah, this is an easy one for me. I'm definitely going to go with the Law and Order as well. I did vote for Blue Bloods in the last round, and like I said, Tom Selleck, a lot of really good role for him, I think, in that with his sort of personality. Better Call Saul, I got to be honest, I am more intrigued to watch that than I am to watch Breaking Bad, but I don't feel like I can because Breaking Bad is the original. So I think with that, I'm a little bit, it's kind of tricky for me to vote for that, even though I do want to see it. But Law & Order is, of these three, the one that I've seen the most of, so I feel the most comfortable saying that.
So for this one, I'm definitely going to go Better Call Saul. I've actually seen all of the episodes from it. I'm waiting for Season 6 to come out. It's probably going to come out early to mid-2022. So yeah, Better Call Saul. It definitely is a little bit slow in the first couple seasons, but yeah, it really picks up. Season 5, I think, is amazing. It's like... in the Breaking Bad universe, it's probably my third favorite season behind Breaking Bad season 4 and 5. I think Better Call Saul season 5 is really good. There is a lot of Breaking Bad references, but I don't think you have to watch Breaking Bad, but it does help because then you know the characters. Like it is a prequel show, so you definitely get some of the Of course, you get Jimmy's transformation into Saul, and you get some other Breaking Bad characters because, like I said, it's a prequel. But yeah, I'm gonna go Better Call Saul. So we have a tie here. So for my second vote, I'm gonna go Law and Order. I haven't seen any of Blue Bloods. Again, Law and Order laid the groundwork for all of the other Law and Orders, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
I will also say Law and Order.
Blue Bloods. I don't know anything about the other one.
Mine would also be Blue Bloods for my second, because like I said, I voted for that in the first one, and I enjoy it. But Law and Order, Blue Bloods probably wouldn't exist without Law and Order, because that's how impactful Law and Order was. So that one, we all voted for it, but since we did 2 rounds, that will add 2 votes to its score, and that'll compete against 911 later on.
Before you do that, you mind telling us where you were Tuesday night?
I was at home working on the press campaign for the audit of the Hudson River Small Craft Navigation Program.
I'm filling up with anticipation. And after that?
All right, everyone, we have made it to our top 8. At this point, I would like to recap the 8 shows that are remaining here, the 8 shows that have gotten this far, and the 8 shows that have the potential to crown as the ultimate TV drama. Those are Breaking Bad, Big Sky, Stranger Things, Dexter, 13 Reasons Why, Law & Order Special Victims Unit, 911, and the OG Law & Order. Make your predictions down below of which one you think is going to take it. With this first round, Breaking Bad versus Big Sky. I'm going to start here. So this is tough because I think I'm the only one that's seen both of these, so I'll start with this. And for me, I think I'm going to have to go with Big Sky. I've been repping it since the beginning here. But there is one thing that I've been saving to talk about with Breaking Bad, because there's one scene in the pilot episode that I wanted to ask these guys about, because these guys are the experts on, and I'm kind of confused on it, because it was half funny, but it was also half cringe. The scene where Walter, for his 50th birthday, gets a unlubed hand job.
Yeah.
So tell me, so am I supposed to laugh at that, or am I supposed to cringe at that?
I think you're supposed to
Because literally 30 seconds worth of Bryan Cranston doing is fucking hilarious, don't get me wrong, but then the more I thought about it, that motherfucker is going to be chafed to hell and back. She didn't even have the courtesy to give him no Orajel or any KY or nothing, bro. She's just going at it. So anyways, that's why I'm not voting for Breaking Bad, because no, I'm sure.
Well, I am gonna vote for Breaking Bad because that's just one episode. That does not happen through the rest of the series. Trust me, it does not happen. Yeah, but man, great show. Like I said, pretty much said everything we needed to say about Breaking Bad already. So Matt,
say my name.
Say
You're
my
Heisenberg.
name. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
This is not meth. Yeah. Definitely going Breaking Bad as well.
Okay.
So now
All on
Steph.
you, babe.
I'm going Big Sky.
All right, so we got
Okay,
tie.
so we
Who's
have a
got
tie
more
here.
votes?
So drum roll, please. Someone give it to me. Breaking Bad has 5. Big Sky has 4. That means Breaking Bad will be advancing here.
Gentlemen, I sense you're discussing my client. Anything you care to share with me?
Sure, your commercials, they suck ass. She better act in an epileptic whorehouse.
Is that like the one your mom works at? Is she still offering the 2-for-1 discount? DEA, huh? For a street bust. Now, what would 2 feds want with that little twerp?
All right, this is one that personally I have been anticipating, even though I'm not too familiar with these shows. Stranger Things versus Dexter, and I'm gonna have Mike.
This is probably for me because these two are like all-time favorites for me. Like I said, top 6 shows, possibly even top 5. Like I said, Stranger Things. But man, this is so close. I think though, if you told me which one I would have to take, I'm gonna go Dexter. They're both incredible though. But yeah, I'm gonna go Dexter on this one.
Matt.
Yeah, I am still watching Dexter right now, but I have seen every episode of Stranger Things, so I'm definitely going to pick that one over Dexter.
I'm going with Dexter.
All right, and to make this interesting, I think I'm going to say Stranger Things here. I don't really have a stake in either one because I haven't seen them, but just for the suspense of it, let's go with Stranger Things here. 2-2 tie.
Most votes.
You did it on purpose.
Most votes. You ready for this?
Yep.
These both have 4. That means we're going...
What? Doesn't Dexter have 5? Look at Dexter's again.
Okay, my mistake. I completely screwed that up. I thought we were going to have a coin flip, guys. Anyways, Dexter will be advancing here 5-4 and move on to the final 4.
Next one we have 13 Reasons Why and Law and Order SVU this year, both heavyweight shows. So I'm going to start here. For me, I'm going to go 13 Reasons. Just one that I've seen the entire series from, so I can kind of get a better grasp of it than Law and Order. But that was a close round. So
yeah, I agree. I'm kind of surprised that like the 3 shows that I've seen all the way through made the top 8: Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, and 13 Reasons Why. But it's because as a group we do really like them. So yeah, I will go with 13 Reasons Why.
Alright, so you guys go.
Oh, this one's really hard for me still. I mean, I've been picking Law and Order for the last few rounds, but this is so hard to figure out because they're both really good for different reasons. But I don't know, I just seem like Law and Order might just top-notch it a little bit more. Just in, like, I just really want 13 Reasons Why to be a little more public to TV versus just like through a small network.
So you're going with SVU?
Yeah, it's gonna be Special Victims Unit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I have a homework assignment. I gotta watch some 13 Reasons Why. That's what I've taken away from that. I gotta watch a lot of these shows. I mean, there's at least 1 or 2 shows that all 4 of us need to do our homework on. But for this round, I am in agreement with Steph, and I'm gonna say SVU as well here, which gives us another 2-2 tie. This time around, 13 Reasons Why has 5 votes going into this. Law & Order SVU had 7. That means SVU will take it, move on to the final 4. All right, our last round here before we enter the final 4 is between 911 and the original Law & Order. This is another one that I've seen both of. Me and Steph actually have both seen these. And there is a part of me that really wants to vote for 911 here because it's a very underappreciated show compared to all of these in the general public. And it's definitely an underdog here. And in these tournaments historically, I've always been favored the underdog here. But I think it's only fair that if we put SVU in the top 4, we also have to include the original Law & Order, as there would be no Special Victims Unit without it. So with that, Law & Order is going to get my vote.
All right, so passing it on to me, I'm also going to go with the first Law & Order. I don't really know much about 911, and Law and Order is just fan favorite show, so that's what I'm picking.
Yep, I agree. Law and Order.
Right. I obviously can agree with Nick a little bit on the part of we wouldn't have the other Law and Orders without the main original one. But I'm like so far over that Law and Order that I don't even really care to see any more of it, not even the other episodes. So I'm going with 911.
But Law and Order
Fair enough.
advances.
I knew I was going to lose either way.
I was the target. Then where'd he go?
Out that fire exit.
Oh, good plan for a lunatic.
Crazy don't mean stupid. My ex-wife's living proof.
All right, so let's start with Breaking Bad versus Dexter. Of course, got to throw it to Mike here.
Two of my all-time favorites. Probably both of my top 3 shows of all time. But if you said I could only live with one, I'd go Breaking Bad. They're both incredible shows, though. I think anyone should check them out if you haven't. They're both incredible. But for me, Breaking Bad just holds a bigger place for me. So.
Yep, I agree. Breaking Bad. My Baby Blue.
Yeah, Badfinger, Baby Blue by Badfinger is a song that will definitely resonate with you a lot more once you see Breaking Bad. I'm not gonna say why or what it's for, but you'll know.
I can't really say anything about Breaking Bad because I am so unexperienced with anything about the show whatsoever. Can't even say what it's about, and I only know a little bit about Dexter, but Breaking Bad always just sounds more of like what people talk about these days. So I think I might just, I don't know, I think I would give Breaking Bad a try on this one.
So you're gonna go Breaking
Yeah.
Bad? Okay.
Man, this is tough. So here's my thing with this one. In the course of this tournament, I feel like Dexter is a show that I really need to give a chance because I feel like I'd get into it. I've seen one episode of Breaking Bad and I did enjoy it. I'm not sure if it grabbed me and it like hooked me in as well as maybe I was expecting it to, because it wraps up pretty nicely, that first episode. And I was expecting a little more of a cliffhanger sort of thing. So there is a part of me that wants to vote for Dexter here. I feel like it would be a nice one to have at the end, but these 3 are all voting for Breaking Bad, so I think I'm going to go with the majority here and say Breaking Bad as well.
It ceases to exist without me. No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
All right, the final matchup before the finale here is between the 2 Law and Orders. We have SVU and the original. And honestly, this is probably going to be the toughest choice for me personally because on one hand, the original is the foundation. SVU would not exist without it. A lot of the shows that we know and love to this day, at least 90% of all dramas, including the ones on this board, probably wouldn't exist without the original Law & Order. That's the amount of range it has, that's the amount of reach it has. But I really love SVU. I think it's better than the original. I think it has overwhelmingly shown itself to be the most important, impactful show since Law & Order, objectively speaking. So honestly, I could go either way.
So what are you picking?
I'm going to let the suspense build a little bit.
Oh my god, can I just go?
I think... Give me a drum roll, lady.
I'm not done. I just want to be not.
Special Victims Unit. I'm going with it. I think it has a chance to win it all, and I would want nothing more.
All right, so kick it to me. All right, so for this one, I don't know much about both of these, but I know they're both amazing. But if you asked me, all these Law & Order fans, which do they prefer? Most would say SVU over the original. So I'm picking SVU.
I agree. I will say SVU over the original.
Both of the Law and Orders are really good, and I can agree that without the foundation of the original one, we would not have the Special Victims Unit. But then you have to think that Special Victims Unit has gotten 22 seasons in compared to any of the other Law and Orders, and that one has gone the longest. And I think, I don't know, it's just something about like the picture and the characters and everything that, like, any of the stories in it, and cast members and even guests that show up on this one are a hell of a lot better compared to probably what you've seen in the later originals. So I'm clearly going to go with the Special Victims Unit.
All right,
Another unanimous one.
This is the matchup that I think a lot of people were predicting. The two heavyweights going at it. The two fan favorites we have.
Fans of this series know exactly what time it is. This is the time where we crown our winner here after a very tough, long competition.
And because I'm new, I
The
don't
two.
know anything about
So
it.
here's how it works. We do a silent vote here. 1 finger if you want Breaking Bad. 2 if you want Special Victims Unit. Whichever has more, we'll take it all. Now here's the thing. We've been tracking votes up until this point, but since this is the finale, those are going to be irrelevant.
Okay,
if
but-
there's a tie,
Okay, that's what I meant.
best 2 out of 3 coin flip
All right.
determines the winner.
Ooh.
Okay?
Really?
Be decided by fate.
Wait,
All right.
hold on. So Breaking Bad is
Because
one?
both of these honestly could go, it could go either way here. So let's let luck decide.
Let's let fate
All right.
decide.
Wait, hold on.
If there's a tie. All right, everyone, look at your camera here. Make sure you're in frame so they can see your vote. All right, on the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
And
And we have a tie. All right, that's what I figured. So, let's start off with Mike. You said Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Would you like that to be heads or tails for its first point?
Tails.
Tails it is.
Or not throw it in the
'Kay.
air. Okay.
Heads.
It is.
Special Victims Unit earns the first point. Matt, you said Breaking Bad as well. This could be it for Special Victims Unit. Heads or tails?
It's up to you, man.
I guess tails.
Tails it is. All right, we're sticking
Can't be
with
heads
it.
twice now.
Okay. If this is heads, SVU has done it. If it's tails, we go to one more flip for the crown. Heads it is! That means that Special Victims Unit has done it and taken the title of the ultimate TV drama. Beating out Breaking Bad in a 2-0 coin flip for
Fate
the
just
title.
Wow.
Fate picked SVU.
22
Special Victims.
seasons
Great.
out of all that.
With 22
It's crazy.
seasons under its belt and 500 episodes, Special Victims Unit has shown itself to be not only impactful, important, but also one of truly the best dramas on TV. If you have never seen this show, I urge you guys to go out and check it out. Watch it as much as you can. This show has so much lore, so much history, so much story.
So for me, this is one that I'm definitely gonna watch. I know Breaking Bad was my show. I'm disappointed it lost, but I'm happy for SVU. SVU does deserve the win. Both of those
And,
shows.
Breaking Bad as our runner-up couldn't be a better show in there. Really couldn't.
SVU though, I'm definitely gonna be checking it out. You should be too.
Matt?
Yep, I agree. Still a great show, and Breaking Bad lost, but Law and Order is still an awesome show, so can't beat it.
All right. This is truly one of the best out there, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, and the fact that Mariska Hargitay, if you follow her on Twitter, she also does advocates for sexual violence victims as well. So there's that as well. So she not only is on the show, but she is also like doing things outside of it too to help people.
Right. All right, we all have our homework assignments. You guys watch SVU. You need to check out Breaking Bad. I need to watch 13 Reasons Why and Dexter.
And
Breaking Bad. I've seen
Wait,
Breaking Bad.
Why do you have to have two
Well, I've seen
shows?
Law and Order too.
Because you guys have seen those two, and those were top 8.
Well,
So-
then I want to rewatch it again.
Watch what? 13 Reasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I'll watch it
it's
with
just it's that good, even though it's like that intense. It's still that good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another TV tournament. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below if you have any suggestions for this series or what videos you want us to do next. And as always, thank you for watching.
I know. Because that one, I feel like she